Have you ever thought about living in an airport? Not just passing through for a flight, not just staying overnight because of a delay, but actually making an airport your permanent home. It sounds like something from a movie, doesn't it? But for one man in China, this unusual idea is not a fantasy. It's his real life. For more than 14 years, 60-something-year-old Wei Jianguo has made Beijing Capital International Airport his home. Wei is not a pilot. He's not a flight attendant. He's not an airport worker at all. He's just an ordinary man who made an extraordinary choice. His story began back in 2008. Before that, Wei lived with his family in Beijing. Like many families, they had rules in the house. But to Wei, those rules felt too strict. They told him not to drink alcohol. They told him not to smoke. Wei says, "I can't go back home because I have no freedom there. My family tells me I can't drink or smoke." To some people, these might seem like small restrictions, but to Wei, they were chains. One day, he decided enough was enough. He packed his belongings, a few bags of clothes, some blankets, newspapers, and instant noodles, and left home. With his monthly pension of about 1,000 yuan, which is around $140, he walked into Beijing Capital International Airport's Terminal 2. Most travelers were in a rush to catch flights, but Wei was in no hurry at all. He had no ticket, no destination. And unlike everyone else, he had no plan to leave. At first, nobody paid much attention. Airports are busy, noisy places. It's common to see people sleeping on benches during long layovers or delays. But as days turned into weeks, airport staff began to notice the quiet man who was always there. Eventually, they learned his name, Wei Jianguo. Over the years, Wei has built his own little corner inside the terminal. He knows which seats are the most comfortable, which areas are warmest in the winter, and where to find the quietest spots at night. He buys meals from restaurants inside the airport. Sometimes fast food, sometimes Chinese noodles, sometimes just a cold beer. He doesn't own a refrigerator, but he doesn't need one. Food is always available just a short walk away. Wei's mornings usually start slowly. He might stretch out on a bench, read a newspaper, or simply watch the sun rise through the massive airport windows. The light shines on the glossy floors, and the sound of suitcase wheels fills the air. He spends much of his day people watching, quietly observing travelers as they hurry to their gates, drag heavy luggage, and say emotional goodbyes. In English, there's a word for this: people watching, simply observing others in public places, noticing little details about their lives without speaking to them. In the afternoons, Wei might wander through the shops. He doesn't buy much, but he enjoys looking. He knows some of the workers by name, and they know him. Sometimes he chats with curious passengers who recognize him from news stories. Other times he keeps to himself, enjoying the rhythm of airport life. The announcements over the loudspeakers, the constant movement of people, the flashing departure boards. For most people, it's temporary chaos. For Wei, it's home. Of course, life in an airport isn't without challenges. There's no private bedroom, no kitchen to cook in, no guaranteed quiet at night. Wei sleeps sitting up or lying on benches with his bags close to him. Security officers sometimes ask him to leave. When this happens, he might go stay in nearby villages for a short time, but he always comes back. Why? Because here, no one tells him when to wake up. No one tells him what to eat or drink. To Wei, this is freedom. Wei's story isn't unique in history. Around the world, there have been other people who lived in airports for long periods. One famous example is Mehran Karimi Nasseri, who lived in Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport for 18 years because of a complicated legal situation. His story inspired the movie The Terminal. Another example is Feng Zhenghu, a Chinese activist who spent 86 days in Tokyo's Narita airport protesting against his country's decision to block his return. But Wei's case is different. He is not trapped by politics or paperwork. He is there by choice. Living in an airport teaches you some unusual skills. You learn the best places to charge your phone. You learn which restrooms are least crowded. You learn how to blend in so you don't attract too much attention from security. Wei has mastered all of these. Over time, he has become part of the airport's unofficial family. Staff members greet him. Passengers sometimes give him small gifts, a snack, a drink, or even just a smile. In telling Wei's story, we can also learn a few English words and phrases. Terminal, the building where passengers check in, go through security, and wait for flights. Pension, the regular payment made to someone who has retired from work. Layover, the time spent in one city's airport between connecting flights. And of course, freedom, the ability to make your own choices about your life. Wei's version of freedom is simple. He doesn't need a big house. He doesn't need expensive things. All he wants is the right to live his life without others controlling him, even if that life is spent in a busy airport terminal. To many, this choice seems strange. But to Wei, it's perfect. So the next time you find yourself waiting in an airport, frustrated by a delay, imagine what it would be like to live there permanently. Could you do it? Could you adapt to a world where your neighbors are travelers from all over the globe, your street is a departure hall, and your view is a runway? For Wei Jianguo, that's not just a thought experiment. That is his life, and he wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks for watching and learning about Wei Jianguo's extraordinary story with me. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more amazing real-life stories like this, plus learn useful English along the way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Also, feel free to share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about living in an airport. See you in the next video.